Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our college visit series. We are super excited to have Savannah College of Art and Design with us today. And speaking with us now is Steve Douglas. So I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to him to get started with his presentation. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I'm Steve Douglas. I'm one of the assistant directors of admission with the Savannah College of Art and Design, but I'm also an alumni of Scad. I graduated from Scad in 2017 and have had some professional work working as a video editor. So most of my background comes from the film and TV production realm, as well as the advertising and marketing realm. But that being said, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And I'm going to briefly introduce you to Scad. Now I will say, because in our presentation, we generally have videos for recording purposes. Those won't be available in the recording today, but if you go to scad.tv, you can find these videos as well as many others that talk about our programs and go a little bit more in depth. You can even look at some interviews with some of our professors, our deans, as well as some of our guests as well. So without further ado, I will jump into talking about the university. So we are the Savannah College of Art and Design, but we are often better known as Scad. We are a fully comprehensive and accredited university with just over 15,000 students from all 50 states and over 100 different countries. And in fact, around 25 to 26% of our students, depending on the term, are international. So we are a truly global campus. And not just in student population, but also in campus life as well, as we have a campus in Midtown Atlanta, as well as a study abroad opportunity in the southern village of Lacoste, France. We also have our namesake location, Savannah, located just over the border between South Carolina and Georgia. And we have an online e-learning platform that's award-winning, and it's been given several different awards over the last 15 years or so. So if you didn't get enough of e-learning in the last couple of years, you're more than welcome to continue those studies with us online as well. And some students even use it as a flexibility option before starting fully on campus in a later program in Savannah or Atlanta. So at Scad, we have more majors and programs of study than any other art and design university in the United States, ranging in everything from the traditional arts like painting and illustration to the more high-tech digital media arts, such as immersive reality design and user experience design. But we also have arts that sort of fall in between that spectrum, like film and TV, advertising, the business of beauty and fragrance, just to talk a little bit about those few. So whether you're somebody who's a little bit more analytical and you're looking maybe more at industrial design or architecture and interior design, or maybe you're somebody who likes to make things, as I mentioned, interior or industrial design, advertising, these programs that really hone in and focus on those avenues. But we also have interactive design and game development and animation to really bolster the relationship between technology and creativity. So as I mentioned at the top, we are a fully accredited nationally and internationally recognized university with academic programs that regularly receive top awards and rankings from some of the best outlets in the world, such as the Rookies, Red Dot Design, the Business of Fashion, Design Intelligence, and the Hollywood Reporter. And this accumulates, and all of this intentionality at Scad fundamentally accumulates in our 99% post-grad employment rate. So this is 99% of our undergraduate students that graduate with their degree have been employed seeking further education, or a combination of both, within 10 months of graduating for 4 years in a row, which really, personally speaking, does come back to Scad's intentionality and focus on helping our students develop their professional profile. Just to talk a bit about one of our alum, this is Christopher John Rogers. Chris and his team of other Scad alum actually were part of winning the CFDA Vogue Fashion Fund Award in 2019, which they then used the prize money for to launch Chris's own label, Christopher John Rogers. And since then, they have done collaborations with people such as Lizzo, Lady Gaga, Michelle Obama, as well as Kamala Harris. And most recently, they signed an exclusive deal with Target, so you can find high fashion pieces at a consumer-friendly price. Madison Hamburg also turned his class project into the critically acclaimed Murder on Middle Beach, which appeared on HBO Max and is up for 2 Critics' Choice Awards. And Casey Willis used her partnership with the Spotify Sound Up program to help launch her company Could Be Pretty Cool. And that's just a very small selection of our alum that go on to work at places like Netflix, Gucci, Pixar, Apple, IBM, Instagram, and many, many more. And so you might be wondering what a creative career looks like for yourself. I encourage you to go to our website to check out our creative careers video, where you get a really quick example of where our students are going, some of the intention that SCAD puts behind it, and how it's helped them open those doors and make those sets of progress. At SCAD, we do understand that students come from a variety of different backgrounds, some with some experience in their field, some that are completely new to art and design, and we understand that. So our students start off in what we call foundation studies programs, and this is where you'll be learning entrepreneurial skills as well as advanced skills in color theory, art, design, and really building a solid foundation to help bolster what it is that you go into for a major later on. We also do incorporate general education electives, but the great thing about SCAD is you can actually spread a lot of those throughout your 4 years rather than having them front loaded your freshman and sophomore year. That way you can get into your major and your creative career that much sooner. Just to talk a bit about some of our professors and where they're coming from. So this is Melanie Moore. She now serves as a professor in the associate chair of the business of beauty and fragrance at SCAD, one of our newest majors. They actually had their first graduating class last year of 13 students, and across those 13 students, they had approximately 30 job offers. So they had a 100% post-grad employment rate in this field. Melanie used her connections in the business of beauty and fragrance industry to help these students leverage not only their creative thinking skills, but those professional development skills as well, since she used to serve as the executive director of marketing at Estee Lauder. Chris Gallagher used to be one of the lead animators at Walt Disney Animation Studios, as well as Sony Pictures Imageworks and EA Games, and now serves as SCAD's chair of animation. So we'll be learning from one of the top in the field of animation, both 2D and 3D. And BC One actually helped Samsung develop the world's first flip phone back in the 90s, but he continued to work with Samsung's User Experience Innovation Design Lab to develop new accessibility to technology and innovations in everything from pre-smartphone to post-smartphone and even beyond. He now heads our User Experience Design program, which we actually co-created alongside of Google. And students in Savannah and Atlanta have access to our new extended reality XR stages, which have been featured prominently in productions like The Mandalorian Season 2, as well as a number of other different digital media content creator platforms. This is a really big thing because we're the first university in the country to have access to this, and it's something that our students are going to be able to leverage to bolster their portfolios and their resume that much more. In both Savannah and Atlanta, we host a number of different resources, festivals, and events to make sure that our students are still plugged in to what's happening within their artistic and design community. So for example, at the SCAD Fashion Museum of Fashion and Film in Atlanta, we recently had the Ruth E. Carter exhibit. Ruth was one of the costume designers for Black Panther, as well as Malcolm X, Roots, and many other prolific films throughout the better part of the last 3 decades. Ruth actually continues to collaborate with SCAD, and that exhibit is actually going to Roanoke, Virginia. So if any of you are watching this in post during the recording and you happen to be in my neck of the woods over in the Roanoke, Salem area, and you'd like to get a tour of this facility, please feel free to reach out to me. I'm sure my contact information will be available. I'd encourage you to. It's a really awesome exhibit, to speak quite casually. It's amazing. You should come check it out. But as I mentioned, we do host a number of different festivals throughout the year, not only to be fun and amazing events, but also for our students that are in related fields and majors to start making connections and forming some of those industry partnerships that are going to help them boost into their creative career. So in Savannah, we host the SCAD Savannah Film Festival, along with the SCAD Fashion Show, Game Design Fest, Animation Festival, and many more. In Atlanta, we have the Atlanta Television Festival, as well as another SCAD Fashion Show, as well as multiple others there too. We really do a little bit of everything to make sure that our students aren't just getting exposed to the industry in one way, but in multiple different avenues. Arguably, what I think is the coolest thing that we do at SCAD is our program called Scad Pro. This is where we invite different Fortune 100 and 500 companies to come in and work directly with our students on real life projects. So students are able to take Scad Pro as an elective class, generally beginning in their sophomore year, where they're able to work directly with companies on site as a part of their core curriculum. So you can think of it as sort of like an internship, but built into your campus experience. Just one of the success stories that's come out of Scad Pro. This is Angela Martin. She actually graduated from our user experience design program. She did a Scad Pro project along with her team with Lenovo. And at the end of the project, Lenovo actually flew her and her team out to their headquarters, and they were able to do an additional presentation in front of some higher level executives. Following the presentation, Lenovo actually offered her a job on the spot because they were so impressed by her leadership and communication skills, in addition to the awesome design and innovative thinking that she brought to the table. Scad AMP is our on-site public speaking and communication facility where we are able to help students work on their career pitch, whether it's in their elevator pitch, interviewing skills, or even just being able to present in front of a boardroom or even give a public presentation. We want to make sure that our students are as well prepared as they can be, because it is noted that one of the most lacking soft skills across all of the United States industries is actually communication skills. So we want to make sure our students are nailing that, and that's not an issue, so they can further impress their employers. We also want to support a comprehensive student experience at Scad. So even though I've talked a lot about networking and professionalism and all of these sorts of things, we still like to have fun at Scad. We're not just all work and no fun. We do support student athletics. So while we don't have a more traditional football team, we do have everything from cross country to track and field, lacrosse, swimming, bowling, cycling, soccer, as well as esports. We also have over 85 different clubs and organizations that range in everything from student-run project-oriented organizations to the more fun organizations like Humans versus Zombies, which is just a fun Nerf battle that happens every Thursday evening on campus. So anything and everything to suit your interest. Scad is also an incredibly diverse community where we really place a huge emphasis on inclusion, but not just inclusion and not just getting everyone involved, but empowering students to promote their own voice both at the school as well as in their creative fields that they're going to go on to join. And for students that are really hoping to give back to their community and continue that volunteer experience at the college level, Scad Serve is a program that you can join, which helps address 4 critical areas of need, including water, food, shelter, and other additional needs that are within the greater Savannah, Atlanta, and even French communities. At Scad, students are plugged into a really vibrant culture. So while no student is required to live on campus at any point, roughly about 90 to 95% of our students do live on campus their freshman year. And we do recommend it if you're not already familiar with the Savannah area, just because it's a great way to meet new friends and get to know your classmates a little bit better. So in Savannah and Atlanta, our students live in what are called suite style residence halls. These suites are composed of 2 bedrooms per suite with 2 people per bedroom, a living room, a shower room, as well as a toiletries room and 2 sink/mirror/makeup areas to get ready in the morning. So really spacious, really there to make sure that our students are able to concentrate on making themselves comfortable so that they can succeed in the classes. They're quite nice. I actually these didn't exist whenever I was a student. So you guys are getting something very new and very fresh. For any of our younger students that might be chiming in, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, or junior, we have different summer programs at Scad as well. This includes our summer seminar program, which is a 1-week workshop style program where you get to come live on campus for 1 week, take 2 workshops with our professors, eat at our dining halls, meet with our current students, and in the evenings we even take you out to see some of the best of Savannah and Atlanta. So you kind of get a feel for what it's like to be a student at Scad. I like to attribute it to test driving a car. Coming to one of our summer seminar programs is a lot like test driving the school to see if it's a good fit for you before making a bigger commitment later down the road. We also have a Rising Star program. This is actually a 5-week summer intensive program where you can take 2 actual Scad college level courses and earn college credit. If you're accepted to this program, you're automatically granted a half tuition scholarship. So just getting into the program is a really great way to help further your ambition. So if you're a highly motivated student, it's a program that I've worked very, very closely with for the last 3 to 4 years. So please, feel free to reach out. This is a program I love to talk about and would love to go into more detail with you. So just to briefly go over our application process at Scad. So for anybody watching this that might want to take notes, in post, this is a good time to do so. Our application process at Scad is actually it's designed to be pretty seamless. So the first step is filling out our initial Scad application. So this is, or application form, I should say. This is just name, basic biographical information, a little bit about you, a little bit about your parent or guardians, as well as just general biographical information. We also ask that this is when you would submit your application fee, which is currently set at $100. Once you've paid this and you submitted this form, you'll be assigned an admission advisor. This person reaches out to you within about 4 to 5 days or about 1 business week. This person will be who you can send all of your additional materials to complete your application. So you don't have to worry about having everything up front and ready when you submit your initial application. That comes in time. We do operate on rolling admission, so we don't have any hard deadlines. So no early, regular, or late decision deadlines for us. However, we do encourage students to apply early, especially seniors, just so you can get all of your information back. You can find out if you're accepted, and you can also find out if you were eligible for any academic or achievement-based scholarship as well. So earlier is a little bit better, just so you can sort of have everything in front of you and on the table when it comes to making decisions. When it comes to submitting application materials, we currently only require final junior year transcripts for current seniors. We are test optional for fall of 2022. So current seniors, you don't have to worry about submitting your SAT or ACT. However, if you took those tests and you feel that you performed well and you did a good job, you can still submit them because we could factor them in to a potential academic scholarship award. Speaking of which, if you are accepted to SCAD, you're automatically reviewed for an academic scholarship based on your transcript and grade history. So that's why I say if you did well on your tests and you want to submit them, definitely go ahead and submit them because it can, definitely play a good part there. But if you feel that your grades speak much louder and better for you than your test scores, don't worry about submitting your tests this year. For any younger students, we are still to be determined on if we're going to go back to requiring them. So I won't speak to whether we do or not currently. And then third, really any school that you're considering visiting, especially SCAD. Like, we're an awesome university. Our campus life and culture is super, super vibrant. Our facilities are incredibly inspired. Whenever I traveled from Virginia myself to being an on-campus student in Savannah, the buildings are kind of amazing. Pretty much every building at SCAD, with the exception of a short few, are renovated buildings, meaning that they used to be something else. Everything from schools to former hospitals to former hotels. These have all been completely renovated from the inside out. So from the outside, they still have a lot of historical legacy, but on the inside, you have state-of-the-art design facilities. So quite amazing, just to come and check out. So definitely go and visit, but any school that you're considering, getting yourself on campus and really feeling the vibe and really feeling the overall atmosphere of a campus is really going to tell you more about if you as an individual is going to be successful at our campus. So again, try and go visit everywhere you can. If you're interested in coming to visit us specifically, you can go to scad.edu/visit. We have daily tours Monday through Saturday, the only exception being Sunday. And we do have open house events both in the fall and in the spring. These are called SCAD days. You can find those at scad.edu/SCAD day. It's a great way to come and meet fellow like-minded students from all over the country and even internationally. And this is where I find a lot of students meet their future roommates and future collaborators as well, just a little bit in advance. And so I will leave this slide up for just a second, even though I know it is a recording, just so if any of you are interested in being in touch with me, the QR code on the left is so that you can request more information from the school. It also makes it so that you and I can stay in touch because your email will get sent over to me and I can stay in touch. So if you ever want to schedule like a personal Zoom call, or if I'm ever in your area and you'd like to get a cup of coffee at a Starbucks or a local coffee shop, I'd be more than happy to sit down with you, mom, dad, parent, guardian, and answer any and all of your questions. I should also mention that I do work with our portfolio review committee, and we do not require a portfolio to be accepted to SCAD, but we highly encourage submitting one for additional scholarship opportunity if you get accepted. So since I work with that review committee, I'd be happy to give your work a look over and give you some advice and some portfolio counseling as well. The handle on the right-hand side at mrsteve.scad is just in case any of you happen to be on Instagram and you want to be able to, DM me questions there if that's a little bit easier for you. You can feel free to connect with me there too. And so, yeah, I thank you all for taking the time out of your day to, watch this presentation. But if any of you would like to reach out to me in virtually any capacity, my email address is sdouglas@scad.edu. So that's S as in Steve, Douglas @scad.edu. Thank you all so much. I hope everyone is well. Stay healthy, stay happy, all that good stuff. Thank you all so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing this information with our students. And I think one thing that SCAD does really well is the networking with other companies and really getting the students ready for real life after their college experience. So I really think any students who are interested in any of these areas, Scad is a great way to go. One question about your campuses. So are there different programs that students would apply to for different campuses? Do they indicate that on their application when they're applying? How does that work?
So on your application, whenever you apply as a student, you would indicate which campus you would prefer to go to. And the neat thing is that we teach using a core curriculum at SCAD. So if you decide that you would rather go to, let's say, start in Savannah, as long as your program is offered in both Atlanta and Savannah, you can actually seamlessly transfer and transition in between campuses. So just as an example, our animation program is offered in both places. So a student could start in Atlanta or Savannah their first year, and maybe they decide, I'd like to go study for a quarter or maybe even a year at the other campus. They can seamlessly do that. They would work with their student success advisor just to make sure that if they want to live on campus, that there's space there and that they register for the right classes when that time comes. But it's overall a pretty easy process, and it doesn't cost anything extra other than just transporting yourself to the other location. Which is quite nice. Our Lacoste campus is a little bit different. It is a proper study abroad program. So there is an application process that comes with that. So that is a little more involved. But if you have a good GPA, you're keeping yourself in good academic standing, you can start applying for that as early as your second term at SCAD. So we do encourage that too.
Wonderful. Thanks for letting us know that. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And we always appreciate hearing about SCAD and hearing about all the wonderful programs. Students, if you have questions, please reach out to Mr. Douglas. He is your contact and has a wealth of information for you. So make sure you keep in contact with him if that's something you're interested in. Thank you.